Welcome back to Pretend We're Critics, everybody. It's been quite some time since we've had our little chats, and I'm so excited to be back in your ear talking about movies. Now, to kick off season two, I have a familiar critic whose voice you all know well at this point. Raz Cunningham is back as our guest critic. Hello, Raz.
Hello, I'm clapping for myself. Thanks for having me.
No worry. Now, before we get started, I do have a question for you, buddy. Do you believe in aliens?
You 100% I do.
Do you?
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
All right. So I only asked because we've been seeing sort of an influx in this whole sci-fi alien movie, TV series this year, and I guess the beginning of last year too. One of which is Disclosure Day, though, directed by
Hmm.
the amazing Stephen Spielberg. The film released 2 weeks ago, I'm gonna say, probably three at this point, but
Yep.
the fans, including myself, are a bit divided on how to digest all of it. What say you, Raz Cunningham?
I think it is the best Jean Grey movie never made, and it is a mixed bag of delicious treats and bitter candy.
Okay, okay, I get that. I feel that. Jean
What
Grey
about you?
is a bit of a stretch. That's not that's not
Well, I'm just
necessarily
simply
sci-fi.
saying that if Jean Grey, if there were a movie about Jean Grey and she were going to wake up to her abilities, this is exactly how it would go.
Honestly, fair point. I have never, I haven't delved into the X-Men comics. I only know these stories from the movies. Unfortunately, kill me, I know. But
Mhm.
I've had conversations with you before about X-Men, and like from what you've told me, I think I can see that happening. Actually,
Oh, yeah.
that makes total sense. But before we get into the positives of the movie, yeah, let's look at some of the negatives. The writing. So with this movie, do you feel like this explains too much when it comes to like aliens? Whether you believe or you don't believe, or not enough.
I Okay. I don't think it explains too much. I think it tries to explain exactly what the common zeitgeist of aliens would be. I
Yeah.
think they very much said it's the grays. It's the grays with the eyes, and we're not going to talk about all the other potential 7 or 9 species that people claim visit us. We're just going to focus on the grays.
Right.
And we're going to explain what's been going on. There's nothing surprising in what they did
Okay.
in the script itself. I think there are a few different types of surprises, but in terms of alien lore and folklore, they kind of just give us everything we expect, minus appearing to us as animals. That's new.
That's where
I'm
my
open to it. Whatever.
I don't know if I'm open to that. That's kind of a negative for me because like the animals, what does that mean? Does it mean that all animals are just aliens or um,
Uh,
well, because
so that's a great question.
yeah,
I think very much they have the same abilities they give Emily Blunt when when
yeah,
she can like make someone invisible. Again, a very
sure,
mutant
yeah,
telepath thing to do. They're not actually invisible, they're just not being seen. And if they're not going to make themselves invisible, then they're going to appear as something else, right? So they're not going to appear as humans, so they'll
yeah,
appear as animals. Maybe the writers thought too deeply. I think it's David Cope, right?
yeah.
Maybe he thought too deeply. It's like, well, what if they move in an uncanny valley way where it's not an exact movement? Animals can move like animals, and we'll never know. So
Right,
that's kind of how I thought it was. But then there's that scene with the fox,
right.
where, like they both just say or he says it's just Josh O'Connor's character. It's just a fox. But is it?
Right. They think because they solidified that the aliens were animals way before that scene even happened. So like it makes you question like, well, is it or is it not? And having Josh O'Connor's character, who is pretty important in the movie, say
Hmm.
something like that was also confusing. So it's like, is this a plot hole or is this like someone just like forgot how the whole story was supposed to go? I don't know.
And is the cardinal that flies into Emily Blunt's window also an alien? Or
Exactly.
we don't know. Who knows?
Like
Maybe we're not meant to know. I don't know.
it's not the first time that aliens were referred to as animals, like, or they use animals as, um their disguise or whatever to approach humans.
What
We
other
saw
movie
this
might you be thinking about?
the fourth kind. The fourth kind used owls.
Yes, yes, they did.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Fourth kind is like that movie. It was like Disclosure Day before Disclosure Day. But that was like sort of documentary plus film,
Yeah, Mila Jovovich did a great job, I thought.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like it took the world like by storm, but much like Disclosure Day, everybody is kind of like on the fence about it. It's like, okay, well, how do we believe this or how do we don't believe this? Like with fourth kind, you can believe it because these are like real interviews, right? The real interviews. There's no AI, there's not much for like editing with it. You know what I mean? Like so like that's what
Sure
really
do.
drove the fourth kind and how like the whole lawsuit happened with the wife and like how she still hasn't found her kids yet. Like it's a whole thing. But then you get Disclosure Day, and it's like, okay, we're gonna take the fourth kind's animal, presentation, and then we're just gonna make it for everybody because that's how aliens
Mhm.
actually are. I don't know. That part of the writing was a little bit off for me. And then, of course, you had the one-liners and the ridiculous dialogue that is, I forgive me, but it felt so dated. Like I was like, are we watching a high school play? It's like, who made this? Do people really talk like this?
Well, I was just in prep for this. I was watching some last night. I went down some YouTube deep dives about Spielberg's process, and then the algorithm pointed me to an interview with Tom Hanks and Conan O'Brien.
Sure.
And this was very much about dialogue, and it's an episode of Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. It's a 5 minute clip, and Tom Hanks does a Steven Spielberg impression, and he's like, "I don't care what you say," like like about his lines.
Yeah.
Most of the time, Tom Hanks' his impression is, "Oh, with his dialogue, he says, I don't care what you say," and then sometimes he does, and he tells a story about how on Bridge of Spies he walks up to one of the scenes when they're on the bridge, and in the morning he says, "I hope you boys remembered your lines because I don't remember them at all." And then
What?
and you can put these great filmmakers on these pedestals, sure, but they're still humans. They still are, they trip, they fall, they stumble, they
Sure.
sneeze. So
So,
they
I
can forget
mean,
stuff too. But the dialogue,
can we consider this a stumble, or was this like, okay, what were you thinking? And I understand that Cope was the one that actually wrote it, but like Spielberg had to have final approval for this to actually be filmed, no? Or
yes, but like Steven Spielberg is like famous for giving his team leeway and letting them do their jobs.
sure.
He also famously does not audition some of his actors. He just says, "You, I'll cast you," which I get. A lot of people do that. But this dialogue, it's interesting. I've seen some of Cope's other stuff, and the dialogue is fine. He wrote Dial of Destiny, uh,
Okay.
and that dialogue was fine. But he
Yeah.
also wrote some of the Jurassic Park. He wrote Rebirth. But then
Uh,
he wrote Cold Storage, which I had fun with. I don't know if you saw that
Not
movie.
yet, no.
That was fun. And he also wrote the Tom Cruise The Mummy.
Okay,
Uh,
so see, that's controversial too. Like that one, that may have been like his teeter down there because I've watched that one and I was like, this is not it. So
and he wrote War of the Worlds.
he wrote War of the Worlds.
Yep. So I
So this is where, okay, now I'm like confused. How did he come up with this then? Was he tired? Was he, was he,
I don't know.
was-
You got to figure, I mean, I don't know the emblem process, I don't know the financial process. I don't know how many people contribute to a script like this on this
right,
level. I can tell you sometimes from, inside knowledge that sometimes it's just the writer, the director, and maybe a producer.
right.
Other times it's 90 studio executives.
Mhm.
Who knows?
Yeah,
I don't know. And then if, Spielberg is letting his actors act, did they propose other dialogue? Or did the editor just choose this because this is how the script was written? I don't know. I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
We'll probably never know.
We'll never know. We'll figure it out on Disclosure Day.
We'll
Even
work it out on the
so,
remix, Spielberg.
there you go. Speaking of actors, though, we have to talk about Emily Blunt and
Absolutely.
she was absolutely the star of this movie. I understand that it was supposed to be a duo with Josh O'Connor and Emily Blunt, but she just outshined everybody.
Sure
Like
did.
it made no sense. And to come from somewhere like I've only seen her in a few other movies, including her, popular Devil Wears Prada, right? Like we've seen it. To have her do something like a complete 180 with this, the languages she was speaking, the way that she like
Yep.
portrayed this character, there's this person who's like troubled but also like smart as shit, and it's like it's almost like Lucy, like with Scarlett Johansson. I was shocked with that
Oh,
one.
I did
Like
like Lucy. No
Lucy was
plot, but I really liked it.
no plot whatsoever, but like it was still so entertaining, and like I loved watching Emily in this movie so much.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I would go. watch it again just for her segment. And I've been telling people that like I feel like Josh O'Connor's character should have just been omitted from the get-go. Like I don't understand why he had to be there. It didn't make any sense. Not that he's a terrible actor.
Well, it was kind of as they explained, like a yin yang, a translation situation later. I don't know why you couldn't put both abilities into one person. Not my bag, not my script. Don't know. Maybe it was too much for the human brain to handle at the time.
Oh, please, don't give me
Uh,
that. Oh.
but it was a showcase for Emily Blunt. I expect an Oscar nomination out of
Do
this for
you
her.
really?
I do. I don't know if it's a win, but definitely a nomination because we get a few Spielberg oneers.
Sure.
But we get a oneer timed to her performance in the studio when she shows up and she's speaking several languages and she's changing delivery pace and
Yep.
cadence and even her tone changes, her body language
Effortlessly.
changes. And when you first meet this character, she's very like it's a very frantic, frenetic energy.
Yeah,
So you don't have time to adjust. I do wish the script allowed us to sit with her sooner rather than later because I feel like this moment that does hit me, I think, a little bit more when she says, after the whole house reveal, which we won't get into, um,
we should though.
we should,
That
we
was
will. But
ridiculous.
she looks at someone and says, "No, I will not be your religion."
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot about her that we know that would lead us to see why she would feel so strongly about that.
Exactly.
We
Yeah.
see her, she seems a little, when we first meet her, superficial. So we don't know
Yeah.
how deep she goes.
Right.
I'm happy with that moment. I liked that moment, but I wanted more before we got to it.
I feel like there could have been more had Josh O'Connor's character not been anywhere in the script. Or even he was just a side character, or whatever. He could be the nun. I don't care. But
The
like he
Nun.
shouldn't have had as much of an important role as Emily Blunt. And I feel like the movie would have shined 10 times better had it just been her solo adventure to get to the news, station to have disclosure day. You know what I mean?
I mean, that kind of really was what it was. There was never any threat posed to her. Her empathy,
No.
her empathic abilities were
And that's
through the
another thing.
roof.
That's another thing. Like, why was everyone all after Josh O'Connor? Like, I understand that he worked in I won't say
Yeah.
MI6, but like he worked in that facility with all the people who were, watching over the aliens and all the activity and stuff like that. And he stole something from them, sure. But if you knew about the other half,
Okay, here's the deal.
like,
Did they? I can't look.
that's another plot hole.
I love
Okay,
Coleman
so
Domingo. I'm so happy Coleman Domingo gets work. I'm so happy
yeah.
movie. And I think, he's got a great presence. He brings that level of like fun comfort that, you know, Robin Williams or Steve Martin can bring to a role.
I agree.
I mean, Williams is certainly his own class by far and a different energy entirely, but they bring this stable comfort and joy. Anyway, Coleman Domingo's right up there. And when so they're building spoilers here.
It's gonna
So
be spoiled. We all
yeah, yeah.
come on,
So
it's been out.
through the background of this movie, every time you see Coleman Domingo, for the most part, you see him building what you think is a set, but it's a house. He's building something. He's surrounded by people. He's not really doing any work, but like people are building something around him. And you're aware that like whatever this is will play a role.
Hmm.
It's a very exact replication of Emily Blunt's character's house
Yeah.
from growing up. Somehow, and maybe it was filmed differently, I can't explain this. And I need to rewatch it again, but like it's been in my mind when he and Emily Blunt's character speak on the phone for the first time, it seems as if he has no idea who this woman is,
He didn't.
but was expecting her, but
Yeah.
then was also surprised that there were two, because like, oh, of course there's two. There's always two. Number one, always not the operative word. That implies more, not going with it. Um, Two, also they say like the other, what do they call them? Experiencers, like they're hard
Yes.
to read, so they're other people. That's something, but the house. They have photos of her as a child with her parents in this house they recreate, and they didn't know who she was.
Didn't know who she was. What did
I'm going to
affect her?
give them a little credit. I'm going to give them what is it? What's the phrase? The benefit of the doubt and say that they needed to keep her so deep undercover or so deeply hidden, they had to fake that they didn't know she existed.
I that's
It's a
giving them
reach.
a lot of
It's a reach.
yeah. That's giving them a lot of credit, Raz. Like
I
I
can't.
can't see even Spielberg himself thinking that far ahead. That's some crazy shit. That they knew who she was, did not tell her anything about herself, nor did they even interact with her just to protect her. Makes no sense.
The only way this makes sense is if his alien friend was giving him information piecemeal over the course of the plot.
That's another issue that I want to touch base on. But we will get to that later on at the podcast. But that whole reveal was a fucking craziness. Before we get to that, I do agree with you. Something was off with that whole that scene with the house and Emily Blunt's character coming in, and nobody knew who she was, but they all knew who she was. It was interesting. It was a plot hole right in front of us, and I think everybody in the theater was like, "What? Makes no sense." Even so, let's move on. We got a little bit of a how can I say, a little bit of a, like a religion scene that
Mm.
after thinking about it, like I understood why he put it in here. At first, I was like, okay, this kind of doesn't make sense. Why do we have nuns here? Why is this such a, important piece? But it was the talk she had over the phone about like believing in aliens and believing in God and like saying, that God is not just gonna put a planet with all his creations. Like we're one of his creations, not all of his creations, one of his greatest creations. I really enjoyed that a lot because it does tie into people nowadays who do believe in aliens, who do believe that there's something out there, in the heavens or whatnot. Um, and then it goes against everybody who was like, no, there's only one God and he only created us and that's it, you know?
Yep.
Really enjoyed that a lot. So I get that. What I don't get is the ex-nun that just goes back to find sanctuary with Josh O'Connor's character. That's what I don't get.
Okay. I do appreciate what they attempted here. I think the other nun, Mother Superior there, whichever nun it was, I thought she was great. I thought her answer on that phone call was really insightful. God, but God made, what is it's that God made us, gave us dominion or like the highest life forms. And she's like, well, on Earth, sweetie, like
Yes, on Earth. Right.
on Earth is kind of key to that.
Yeah.
Over the Earth, not space and time, not a Time Lord. It's not Gallifrey. But the ex nun, I think the point was number one to establish. I do appreciate that, like, thankfully they did not make Josh O'Connor and Emily Blunt's characters fall in love. Thank God.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's
Because you want to. I think number one, she was there to for that
mhm.
to be like, no, no, he does love this woman.
Or you don't have to love anybody. I mean, that's a thing
Or
too.
that.
Like,
And number two, I think it was for the growth, but for her to bring to the forefront, oh, I just lost faith in people. Is that what it was?
yeah, and again, that's like it's a little cheesy, and it's like I understand you're trying to close some close some gaps here, but that is so cheesy and unnecessary. It's like, okay, we've heard this so many times before. You lost
There's a
faith
lot.
in people. Oh boy, okay, well,
I do think it was interesting. I do, she's a constant potential threat that's with him for the first half of the movie. And then on the flip side, I appreciate, Little Russell, what's his name? The actor, Russell, Kurt Russell's son, who's
um,
Emily Blunt's
not
boy.
Ben Russell, but I know
Yeah.
the son. Yeah,
I do appreciate how that relationship kind of like fell apart a little bit. And he's just like, I'm gonna turn her in. Don't know who she is. Don't know what she's doing.
yeah. I mean, he kind of always plays shitty characters. I was expecting that from the
Mm.
get-go.
Yeah.
Um, Back to the ex-nun and Josh O'Connor's character. I never got that they were in a relationship.
Really? Because they
They
talk
lo-
about it in the convent.
I understand that, but like their entire interaction, their whole togetherness was more like a best friend. That's it. And
Oh, the chemistry wasn't there.
chemistry was not there at all. And again, I can't stress enough. You could have just left him out of the script. You could have, or you
Let
could.
me ask you this question.
What's that?
When you think of Spielberg and great romance on screen, what comes to mind?
Color Purple.
Okay. It was earlier in his career.
Hmm.
What else?
That's about it.
That's about it.
What
Uh,
is he, what else has he done has romance in it?
Romance and passion is the
Okay.
question. Um, I am racking my brain here. I mean, to a degree, Marion Ravenwood certainly
Okay.
was a passionate woman. So Indiana Jones, perhaps the Ravenwood.
Now, come on.
I am saying perhaps.
Indiana Jones was a player.
I said Marion Ravenwood is a passionate woman.
He did go back to her, sure, but still.
I don't know. I did not see West Side Story, so I can't.
It was fine. Visually beautiful, but I mean, when you see a movie, but you've already seen the play, it's the same thing with Wicked. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm not sure. So I guess the with Spielberg, it is just maybe he's not the best on romance.
that's totally fine. And you need to accept that and
I
stop.
accept it.
No, I'm talking about he needs to accept that and stop trying to shove this down our throats like we're some freaking babies. Like,
Hmm.
this is not romance. This is like two kids going on an adventure. Like, it's
The
super A.
irony here, I think this is ironic. The one chance he could have shown them together, he shows them like sleeping in the same room twice.
Yeah, it's separate
They're
beds.
not in the same bed. He's on the floor in the nunnery, the convent. Nunnery
Yeah.
is where you make the nuns, convent's where they go. And then I think,
Well, see,
and
that makes
then
sense though, because it's a convent. You can't.
and in the motel, she's tied up in case she gets possessed again by Colin Firth's character.
Mhm.
So there's no real. Do they even kiss in this movie?
I didn't see him kiss.
Oh, they don't
Didn't
kiss.
even come close. Didn't even have that long
Does
like.
anyone kiss in this movie?
Now they don't kiss in this movie.
What am
No.
I doing here, man?
That's what I'm saying. It just did not make sense on that front.
Hmm.
The characters did not make sense. I'm not saying I could have written it better. I'm just throwing out
You know
suggestions.
who kissed? Actually,
What's
the
that?
train and the car kissed.
Train in the car. You're a mess.
Yeah, I'm all right.
That was funny. Yeah, no, I really, really wish, like, if you're gonna give us these characters, you could have like given us some depth or something. Even with Emily Blunt's character, we could have definitely had some more like backstory on her from the
When
beginning.
we're watching Close Encounters of the Third Kind, we
Hmm.
have multiple plots going on, and we see their families fall apart. Like,
Exactly.
and they're not, the timeline isn't as tight. It's not this 48-hour period to get to a certain place at a certain time for the
Mhm.
whole movie.
Right.
But it's revolving around a family. We don't really see much of their family life at all. We don't know how it's affecting. I get it. It's a race against time, but
Yeah,
some
but like you,
where's the parents?
where are
Who's
the
the parents?
parents?
Don't care. What are they doing?
Why
Do
did
they
you
know their
move?
kids were abducted by aliens? How do they feel about it? Yeah.
Exactly. Like what? Like there's so many questions left. And for a movie that's called Disclosure Day, you don't want to have many questions left. Which
Hmm.
brings me to my next and final fucking point about this movie. And yet I so
Yeah.
pissed.
Let it out, boy. Let it out.
The ending
Yo.
is so cheap and so lazy. And I'm so tired of filmmakers doing this. Not just Spielberg that does it. You cannot end something these days with just a black screen after you have this huge fucking moment of like realization or like, disclosure. So what the fuck was that? What was that?
That was the point of the movie.
Yeah.
Hang on. No, no, no. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying, remember, I'm gonna be devil's advocate. The movie is called Disclosure Day, not the day after Disclosure Day.
It was the day of.
I know.
It was the day of. You
Well,
can't
I
say
think
that.
it's funny. I think when she said the very last line of the movie, it went from like 11:59 and 59 seconds to like midnight the next day. So they had to
Listen
like,
to
oh,
me.
the day's over.
Oh, oh my God. I freaking threw my popcorn. Like, I was so upset. I hate when movies do that. Finish your story. Just finish it. You
Well,
started with listen and then just cut to black.
that's the second movie we've seen in the last couple months where that happened. Because it was what was that horror movie? That I was really great up until that ending where everything took
Fucking undertone.
Undertone was
Undertone.
incredible. In the last
Absolutely
5 minutes,
amazing.
it's
And
like,
then it
what
got to
the
that
fuck?
freaking final ending. Unreal. You can't keep doing this. This is the reason why indie films, people who are making YouTube shorts, people who are like doing shit on their iPhone are actually getting attention, are actually getting popular. And these big time people like Spielberg and like no, well, not Nolan, but I mean like Spielberg
See
and
how that goes.
yeah, I mean Nolan's probably going to be, killing it again this year, but even so, these people, these kids are making these movies because they are making full movies. They're actually like having ideas, imagination, full imaginations that are telling us stories that are all complete. There's
Yeah.
no there's no guessing, there's no second guessing. And I love that. I love that about movies. When you can just tell me the full fucking story right then and there.
Mhm.
Do it. Do not lead me up to this big reveal, to this intense interaction, to this big climax of disclosure, and then end it with a black screen.
Every moment of this film was a moment about progressing the timeline forward.
Okay.
I go back and I think about Jaws. Now, you
Okay.
can't compare a man's work to all his other work. I mean, you do. It happens. But I don't think that's fair as someone who's had such a long career. I think we have to look at the work as that one piece. I don't like to compare and contrast as like a point of contention. But when I look at what he's capable of and has been capable of, I go back to Jaws and I think about every scene at any form of table in that movie.
Mm,
There's character development there.
yeah.
Dreyfus, you get a little bit of plot development as well. You're getting to the shark for sure. But every scene around a table, there's this beautiful human exchange.
Hmm.
That's not here. We start with that. We get that. It's how we meet Emily Blunt's character.
That's what I'm saying.
We start there and then we immediately leave it.
Exactly.
The other example within this movie where two characters at the table are the girlfriend and Colin Firth's character. And no disrespect to the movie, I just can't remember their names. Um, where they're having a very superhuman exchange, but there's fear being thrown out. We're not advancing the plot forward. We're trying to just get information. He's pushing her buttons,
Yep.
she's pushing his buttons. But other than that, we're not at a lot of we don't have a place to stop. And that's what a table provides.
Yeah.
A table scene gives you a moment to nourish,
I
and we
like
don't
that.
have
Yeah. I agree. I absolutely agree. It could have been better. I think that's my like final thoughts on it. It could have been so much better. And I expected better, I think.
yeah.
Um, is it entertaining? Sure. Why not? I mean, it had its moments.
Yeah,
The
it did.
ending just killed it for me. I would honestly, I tell people to watch it for Emily Blunt. Like
Oh,
just for
100%.
her.
I will rewatch it for Emily
That's
Blunt.
what I'm saying. I will. I mean, I'm still gonna buy it. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm gonna get the
Oh,
DVD. I'm gonna get the Blu-ray.
okay. There's your vote.
But it literally is only for Emily Blunt's character. Like she was the star of this show.
Yeah.
Coleman Domingo is a close second, but everybody else could have done without. Can't even be a second thought. But like, dear God, come on, Spielberg, man. I was waiting for this. I was waiting for when I saw the first trailer. I was like, this is gonna be something. This is
I
gonna be
was
something
hoping it
crazy.
was a sequel to Close Encounters,
Me
truthfully.
too. Me too. I wanted it to be a sequel. So it had it been a sequel. That's another good thing. It had it been a sequel, it would have been crazy. It would have
Yeah.
been crazy. I would have lost my shit. I am
I'm
losing my shit, but it's like not in a good way. It's like,
just going to go back to Emily Blunt's character for a moment.
yeah.
Now, as I am colorblind, as folks may know, or some folks may not know, or whatever. But her wardrobe stood out to me. The tones were very 70s, 80s colored. Her hairstyle very much felt like it was always a callback to the lead actress who I can't remember from Close Encounters. I'm so sorry. I'm so
No
sorry.
worries.
But it felt like a callback always to
Yeah.
her. And that's why I was like, oh, so he's in this works. I get it. So it was there for me in that way.
People do that. I mean, directors do that. They'll put little plugins, little Easter eggs here and there, and like real fans will see it. Like, and of course, I mean, like I saw a few things, no Goonies, but whatever. Even so, um, for him as a filmmaker, it was a fine movie. It was fine. The writer needed work. It needs a lot
The
of work.
script was the weakest part of that
I,
film.
it absolutely was the weakest part. And I think it was very, you had a lot of characters, but it wasn't character driven.
Mhm.
Put it that way. Like it
And no
was just,
matter what, that man knows how to move a camera. I mean,
oh yes, he does. Absolutely. No, the
flowers, flowers everywhere, and not just wow.
cinematography was absolutely fantastic. Beautiful. Um, Yeah, that's my opinion on Disclosure Day. So there you have it, folks. If you enjoy aliens, random car chases, and Emily Blunt speaking 5 languages fluently, then you should give Disclosure Day a chance. But be warned, it's not for everyone, especially diehard alien lovers. Anyways, thanks for listening. We will see you at the next premiere. Bye, guys.